Or, give it a turn. If ending my life is what you desire, you remain as stunning and elusive as always. Blasted harlot. Engagement breaking, condition, the demise of Deculein. Phew, what a relief. Bravo. You've successfully completed the stage. It's finally running smoothly without any glitches. This incredibly frustrating glitch seemed to drag on forever before it was finally resolved. Hey everyone, I'm thrilled to share that I've finally resolved the annoying glitch that kept popping up in the story route where it was breaking the engagement. As a character model designer, I go by the name Kim Woo-jin. I'm on the brink of liberation from this relentless overtime. As a game developer, the excitement is palpable. As a console game developer, I find myself amidst the desolate landscape of Korea's gaming industry, where these unexpected talents emerged seemingly out of thin air. Since their inception, they've consistently churned out blockbuster games, propelling the company to global fame and adoration. Currently diving into testing and tweaking. This is Rue's latest AAA masterpiece, a game that embodies everything the company stands for, coming at a price that reflects its unparalleled value. To put it differently, this is a game that could either elevate us or lead to our downfall. Let's reflect on that. It consumed roughly 11 hours of my life. The standout feature of this game lies in its dynamic narrative and challenging gameplay, which shift in response to the choices made by the player, creating a truly immersive experience. Although it's a solo game, it boasts a complex narrative focused on characters crafted by sophisticated artificial intelligence, which is truly impressive. The innovative approach to solo gaming captured global attention, putting us in the spotlight. Additionally, there's a wide array of job opportunities available, including many that are quite rare and not typically encountered. As an illustration, we have a gallant knight, a wise mage, a daring adventurer, a malevolent devil, a relentless devil hunter, a highborn noble, and even a sovereign king. As a player, you have the freedom to embody any character of your dreams within the game. In other words, as long as the game receives the acclaim it deserves, we'll be basking in riches. However, the prize comes with dangers. Should the game flop, the firm will be ruined. I must inspect the character details beforehand. As I sit here, allow me to share the reasons behind my relentless night shifts over these past few months. This whole mess is thanks to that jerk. Character profile, Deculein von Greyhan Yui, occupation, senior professor, a pivotal figure in the episode titled, Deculein's Demise. I finally conquered it without stumbling upon any glitches. Deculein von Greyhan Yuckline, a menacing antagonist and formidable mid-game adversary, captivates with their sheer intensity in malevolence. Given his role as a pivotal villain with numerous variables in his storylines, the development process was riddled with an overwhelming number of bugs and technical hitches. At last, I triumphed over him today, effortlessly putting an end to his reign. The reason for his demise this time is due to the actions of his fiancée. Indeed, it stands verified. He managed to stir up a massive fuss all through the episode. Woo-jin, how's everything going with the exam? This is Ura, the inspiring leader of my development team, and my former girlfriend. We shared 7 unforgettable years together. Each moment we experienced together overflowed with happiness. In reality, she was deeply entrenched in her work, a true slave to her profession. I truly enjoyed just lounging about. Her relentless determination to grow is what led me to a job and inspired me to strive for greater achievements. However, in the end, our paths diverged and we parted ways. I found it impossible to transform, even with RA putting in her utmost effort. I understood you were struggling due to some issues. It's truly uplifting to see you persevere through it all. It's been half a year since we split. I recently caught wind that she's moved on and has someone else in her life now. It seems that everything is going smoothly with the person you're involved with, huh? Gossip spreads like wildfire here, as expected. Nonetheless, I believe things are on the right track. It's definitely disheartening to listen to her say that. I sincerely hope you both cross the finish line and tie the knot. Put aside your trivial squabbles and focus on your journey together. Just to note, the author mentioned they've altered the setting and are asking for some of the character designs to be revised. Seriously? Good grief. It feels like there's a fresh change waiting for us every single day. When it comes to the characters, is he truly meant to be a mid-game challenge? It seems players can dispatch him rather easily, provided they catch a break. The captivating aspect of this game, and of Deculein himself, lies in how he grows in power as you delve deeper into the narrative. Each player's unique decisions ramp up the game's challenge, making it truly engaging and dynamic. Can you believe it? The design of this character is actually inspired by you, by Deculein. Did you honestly not realize it while you were posing with him? You both share that same corny expression. However, I've only had the chance to encounter the author a few times throughout my life. That's why every time I dive into the game, my first move is to take him out. Haha. What was that all about? Honestly, your characters are quite alike. Deculein, what a pain in the neck. Seriously? I feel just like that dude whose last words are, "Damn it, woman." Alright, enough with the procrastination. How do you feel about the playtest? While I genuinely enjoy the game, I can't shake off the worry that the fate of the company hinges on its success. You can rest assured, there's no need to fret over such matters. The gameplay teaser has ignited enthusiasm across global audiences, ensuring its success is virtually guaranteed. Isn't that the guy we're looking for right below? Oh, wow. Have you spotted him? The man standing by his vehicle, seemingly patient. Can you believe it's this late already? Why are you just lingering there? Don't keep him waiting any further. You absolutely need to pay him a visit. You're absolutely correct. I'll be taking my leave now. Wu Jin, fantastic effort today. Mutter. Farewell. Wow, time to dive back into examining Deculein. Is the author for real? Am I really meant to be him? He possesses 6 remarkable qualities, encompassing every single trait. There's an aura of intimidation and grace about him. A true prodigy, yet he also embodies the struggles of an average mage. He embodies the brilliance of a prodigy and the humility of an average mage. From a young age, Deculein was hailed as a genius and celebrated as a wizarding wonder. However, the truth revealed that he was far more ordinary than it initially appeared. Thus, the blend of his hubris and conceit, his legendary tales, and his background as an esteemed aristocrat, fashioned the most dreadful character imaginable in the entire human race. Is he truly still human in this state? They claim that he becomes more powerful as the narrative unfolds. Yet ultimately, he finds himself, without fail, enveloped by individuals who loathe him. Could we possibly delve deeper into his characteristics or personality nuances? Subtle aspects that often go unnoticed. I am his ultimate guide, after all. Let's take a moment to reflect. One quality stands out, empathy. Can we talk about empathy? Would this evoke his compassion or understanding? This is great, let's get started. You really ought to show a bit more empathy than I do. Compassion. As I embark on this journey, why not sprinkle in a couple more? Affluent tycoon, golden touch, now that resonates beautifully. I really enjoy this one. The keen vision and strong physique are impressive as well. I got a bit carried away and piled on a ton of extras that seemed appealing at the time. Looking back, I realized that was probably a mistake. I must revert him to his initial form before any complications arise. Let's bring you back to your usual self, ding. Wow. That was absolutely terrifying. Who on earth is sending messages so late? Hold on. It's the scriptwriter. Oh, absolutely. Do you have any preferences or adjustments you'd like to make to the model? Just let me know, and I'll make those changes for you straight away. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm simply here to observe. What on earth are they discussing? Developer Rain. Wait, that's off track. Just an onlooker, huh? Pardon me. Could you clarify? Ah, so you wanted to debug together? LOL, no way. Just take a glance outside. What's out there beyond the window? Is there anything worth looking at? Could it be? What's happening to the sky? This piece has a noticeable flaw in it. What's happening? Where am I right now? Gur. Could you believe this? Keep this in mind, young one, you must stay ever vigilant. Deculein is not an easy person to deal with at all. He might be stumbling at this moment. But he could unexpectedly rise once more at any moment. At this moment, he's just weighing the extent of his own abilities. He's an utterly vile antagonist, without a doubt. Come on. Rise and shine. Get up right now, Deculein. How much more time are you going to waste just lounging about? Please, calm yourself, my lady. How can you still consider yourself a human being? Oh, I understand. It's been several days since I inhabited this body. It still seems surreal to me. For how much longer will you isolate yourself over just one woman? Are you seriously attempting to tarnish our family's reputation or something? I'm placing the documents right here. If you wish to keep that cherished professor role, you must put in the effort and work hard. Just a week back, the evening sky unexpectedly burst into brilliance. I found myself awakening in a strange location, inhabiting a body that felt entirely foreign to me. I truly feel like I've stepped into the very universe of the game I've been creating. The well-known landscape only strengthens my doubts. Moreover, I find myself inhabiting the physical form of a man. Regardless of the twists and turns in the narrative of life, there is no way to evade the inevitable fate of death. This character is truly the epitome of dread among all. I transformed into the ruthless antagonist Deculein. It's hard to believe that a whole week has flown by since I first set foot here. The opulent Deculein Grand Mansion, particularly Deculein's luxurious bedroom, has truly captivated me. Initially, I imagined that this was nothing more than a fantasy. As each day went by, the intense sensation of living became increasingly real to me. Following my demise in that manner, perhaps I'm now encountering some form of existence beyond death. Regardless, what I am certain of. In this developing game, I portray the antagonist, Deculein von Greyhan Deculein, a role that captivates and challenges me deeply. Deculein serves as a formidable mid-game antagonist that players encounter regardless of the path they choose to take. He stands as a formidable adversary to the parents and partners of numerous characters. At the heart of myriad occurrences. I was destined to turn into this notorious antagonist. The most frustrating issue is that I have no idea which point in the game I found myself. All I can say is that I'm aware of my overall mana, but I'm completely clueless about how to utilize it. I feel so helpless, there's no way for me to push back in this situation. Let me assure you, I'm dead serious here. Throughout the development phase, after putting the routes through over 1,000 tests, Deculein managed to survive in just one single scenario. And that was with the entire team, myself included, giving it our all. He truly was an antagonist designed solely to serve as a mid-game challenge before meeting his demise. This is the very document the girl left in her wake. Senior Professor Deculein from the Imperial University, a deep dive into the essence of magic and the core mentality surrounding mana. The document left behind by Uriel von Dellen Deculein, the one who slipped it under my door while I was asleep, is from Deculein's half-sister. She truly embodies the essence of leadership for the Deculein family, stepping into the role with grace and authority in Deculein's absence. Just wanted to highlight that the rapport with Deculein is quite strained. The lady that Uriel mentioned. It's likely, Yulia. My suspicions were confirmed, yet it appears there's a developing connection between Deculein and Yulia, adding an unexpected twist. I'm placing the documents right here. If you wish to keep that beloved professor role, you must put in the effort and get to work. Reflecting on it now, she mentioned a professor role. Today marks the day of the presentation. I really need to head out now. Although I've never had the opportunity to give a lecture in my entire life. I must gather every piece of information available to me. Above all else. This is crucial for my main survival objective, to be indispensable to the game. On the side quest involving a university lecture, my currency tally has incremented by 0.5. These phrases keep recurring. Regardless of whether it's solely for that reason in Uriel, I feel an urgent need to take action now. She's one of the reasons that could lead to Deculein's demise. The significance of store currency cannot be overstated. How am I supposed to deliver this lecture? It's understandable to feel anxious, but I'm good. This physique now inherently possesses the trait of comprehension, truly embodying innate wisdom. The power to comprehend anything can be unleashed through the consumption of mana. Prior to transforming him into Deculein, I endowed this characteristic upon him, hoping it would at least make him relatable. Given its emergence as an inherent attribute midway through the game, one would expect it to harbor some concealed functionalities. Though the bathroom and attire are unfamiliar, I'm pleasantly surprised at how effortlessly I can make use of them. Living as Deculein feels like it's been my entire existence. The version of me from the past would have considered those outfits to be utterly tacky. But now, they exude an elegant charm while offering utmost comfort. This can also be attributed to the overpowering aura of Deculein's intimidation and nobility, coupled with an impeccable sense of aesthetics. It feels as if every part of you is whispering, "This is who you are." Indeed, I am unable to go against the decorum this institution demands. Even the aspects that would have made Kim Woo-jin uneasy now feel completely effortless. Although it's merely for gathering insights. Attending my very first lecture seems incredibly familiar. I stand out as an invaluable and esteemed aristocrat. This is pure nonsense. Kim Woo-jin, a vibrant and energetic young man from Korea, truly stands out. RomCom Kim Woo-jin. RomCom Kim Woo-jin is undeniably tall and quite charming. To echo the final sentiments shared before we parted ways. I'm just a dull and lethargic soul, and that's the truth of my existence. I definitely won't let myself slip my mind. I'll always stay vigilant. Honestly, I've never experienced riding in such a luxurious car like this before, not even in reality. Geez. Reflecting on pricey vehicles brought back memories from the past, and it's really getting on my nerves. Who could this young one be? Oh, I remember now. Good morning, Professor. I've got it right here. Could you be Deculein's aide or secretary? Wait a moment. Are you a spellcaster? Excuse me. I've been learning from you for 3 whole years now. I was just kidding around. This document. I initially believed it to be the lecture material, but it turns out it's merely a script I need to read from. The lecture's content is meticulously documented from start to finish. I can't believe that the arrogant and incompetent Deculein would actually take the time to prepare a decent lecture on his own. This fellow endured it for me. Excellent. Impressive effort. Excuse me. Take a break until we get there. The master is complimenting someone. Why yes. Got it. What kind of absurd character is this? My stomach churned the moment I uttered a single compliment. This is Deculein's true essence. I sensed it even before I stepped out of the mansion, yet it seems as though my thoughts have been tainted by Deculein's essence. We've made it, Master Deculein. Well, here we are. At Deculein's place of employment, the prestigious Imperial University, the atmosphere is both intellectually stimulating and awe-inspiring. The presentation brought up, the Rotio Hall. At long last, I'm stepping into Rotio Hall's lecture auditorium to witness Senior Professor Deculein's renowned lecture. The brilliance behind interpreting spells. Moreover, I've heard whispers that he's been a true genius from a very young age. Take note. I am Deculein von Greyhan-Yucklein, a distinguished senior professor at the Mage Tower, and it is an honor to be entrusted with delivering this lecture. Now, let's dive right in. Wow, what a strikingly attractive guy. He's also incredibly smart. So incredibly cool. That's cool. Ha, they exhaled, unsure whether to be impressed or completely exhausted by the situation. At last, we confront each other. Deculein, you despicable scum. My dad's adversary. 3 years back, my father took his own life. Following a lifetime devoted to unraveling the mysteries of spell interpretation. The devastating loss of his research paper left him in utter despair, leading him to tragically end his own life. The individual who acquired my father's document soon gained fame among the public as the master of deciphering spells. Absolutely, I'm referring to that pesky Deculein. But I was helpless. After my father's passing, I found myself bereft of everything. Once a dignified lord, I have not merely lost our mansion, but also our vast lands and all the treasures we once owned. Ultimately, with no place to turn, I made a solemn vow to myself. I swear to exact my vengeance on this despicable individual. Following that event, I labored incessantly, both day and night, fueled by an unyielding determination. I was overjoyed when I finally received admission to the prestigious Imperial University, where Deculein himself was a professor. I've deciphered what my peers overlook: his so-called spell interpretation talents are nothing but a sham, built on the stolen brilliance of my father. Having devastated my home, how dare he remain so unfazed? You stand where my father once rightfully belonged. I feel an overwhelming urge to expose his deceit and put an end to him at this very moment. But I must rein in my enthusiasm for now. To bring him down, I must gear up with more thorough preparation. For ultimate retribution. Listen up, all. I'm beginning the lecture now. Allow me to present myself. I am a distinguished professor at the illustrious Mage Tower in this realm. As a sovereign tier mage with the power to command the very forces of nature. It's important to note that mages are organized into a hierarchy of 11 tiers, with Monarch standing as the fourth most prestigious rank. I believe you already know this, especially since you've come this far, but the world of magic is primarily split into 3 main properties and 9 distinct categories. In this review, I'd like to highlight the core attributes: origin, which embodies the essence of magic, elements that constitute its physical form, and material, serving as the very medium through which it manifests. Truly captivating. Regarding the categories, they encompass summoning, spiritual, destruction, support, manipulation, adaptability, enchantment, and harmony. Each one brings a unique flair to the experience, making the exploration all the more exhilarating. At last, we come to specialization. It's essential for a mage to. This is unfolding far more seamlessly than I had anticipated. This is not just my inaugural lecture, I'm delving into the arcane world of magic theory, a domain that remains largely uncharted for me. Even if it feels like I'm merely reciting a well-rehearsed monologue, I feel an incredible grasp of what it's all about. The intimidation and poise emanating from me captivates everyone's attention. Although the elitism trait shields me from feeling self-conscious under the spotlight, it's a double-edged sword that both isolates and protects my ego. Rather than experiencing any stress, it creates a sense of ease and authenticity. Deculein's qualities truly position him as an excellent teacher. The way mana is utilized varies significantly based on the specific area of the body where it is concentrated. Generally, wizards keep their mana within the mind, making it simpler to visualize their spells, which I find incredibly fascinating. Conversely, knights keep it within the heart, that vital organ that circulates life throughout their entire being. Ultimately, the dantian serves as a reservoir of mana that resonates deeply with everyone, as it beautifully merges the internal with the external. What I want to convey is rather straightforward. Diligence is crucial, yet if your abilities fall short, it's equally essential to choose wisely and concentrate your efforts. What perfect guidance for Deculein. Honestly, Deculein isn't particularly gifted as a character. Despite having only 3,375 mana at present, this character shows potential. Incredible. This character begins with an astounding pool of over 30,000 mana. It's utterly ridiculous that he thinks he can offer advice without truly listening. What a joke. I suppose he's just reciting lines from a script. And that brings us to the end of this lecture. Just one final note. I'm feeling anxious about this concluding sentence. Must I go through with reading it? The true Deculein would never have taken the time to read it. Is there anything you'd like to ask? Impressive. It appears everyone is on board. If silence speaks volumes, Professor Deculein, let's move forward. Last night, an enigmatic incantation was discovered in the mage's quarters, shrouded in intrigue. Some are going as far as to label it a devil's deed. As an expert in spell interpretation, could you share your insights on this matter? Do you truly belong to the Mage Tower? Pardon me. What makes you ask that? If that's the case, it's only polite to share your connection right from the start. I refuse to answer questions from a youngster who doesn't have even the most basic etiquette. Are you serious? Professor, I apologize, but there's no other way around it. I've come to understand just how demanding it is to gather mana, insight. Mana, 2005/3, 375. Understanding the lecture notes drained a staggering 1,300 mana from me. I can only imagine the amount of mana required for a spell that's completely unfamiliar. Huh, what a challenge. She tried to shine but fell short. Hold on a moment. The Mage Tower is dismissing it, claiming it's nothing but a baseless rumor. I truly believe, Professor, that you possess the ability to identify the classification of this spell. I am earnestly appealing for an elucidation of this enchantment. Mana, 360/3, 375, I'm really impressed by the mana levels here. Some freshers remained in the dorm to delve into it, yet there's been absolutely no headway. It would be incredibly helpful if you could offer us a clue. Novice, the very first rank among the 11 levels assigned to freshly inducted mages within the Mage Tower. It's all about barrier magic. Seriously? You don't even need a clue. This is an enchantment-type barrier magic. It seems someone attempted to ensnare all of you within its confines. That's it, nothing more to add. Completed the side quest, attending a university lecture. Gained a meager plus 0.5 currency. Spent some time at the Mage Tower's cafeteria. What a complete jerk. I aimed to unveil his deceptive ability to interpret using a mysterious incantation. Could it be that he labeled me a rude fool merely because I omitted to state my name? I was positively certain I was going to perish from humiliation. However, he must have been completely taken by surprise. Attempting to talk his way out of the situation, he claimed it was an enchantment spell instead. Enchanting magic can be incredibly complex, often necessitating the presence of a medium to navigate its intricacies. Is it really a spell of enchantment if there's nothing to channel it? What I revealed to him was an exact replica of the mysterious magic circle sketched on the dormitory's front doors just last night. Initially, it stirred quite a reaction among people, but now it serves as valuable study material for newcomers. Ugh. I always suspected he was just talking nonsense. Ephorine. Ephorine. The enchanting spell from last night. It finally dawned on us once we reimagined it as a protective shield. Wait, what? I'm utterly blown away. We were all too intimidated by that professor to voice any questions. You really have a lot of courage. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that was actually a hurdle? Wow, doesn't Professor Deculein just blow your mind? How on earth did he spot that it was an enchantment spell without any visible medium? Absolutely not. There's no chance that's happening. Thank you, Ephorine. We're preparing a report on this matter, and your contribution will definitely be acknowledged. Why yes, appreciate it. It surely was a stroke of luck. Ultimately, I merely enhanced his standing. Course title, Mastering the Fundamentals of Elemental Magic. Level, Expert, 5 credits. Instructor, Professor Deculein von Greyhan-Yucklein. This class truly captivates the imagination. Deculein delivered an enlightening lecture this semester. As the old adage goes, understanding your adversary and yourself ensures an unbeatable stance. I'll need to brace myself if I'm going to deal with that jerk every single day. Mark my words, Deculein. I'm about to unveil the truth about you. Beep star. Side mission, University Seminar, accumulate currency plus 0.5, advance. That nearly turned into a catastrophe. As soon as I laid my eyes on that formula just moments ago, my awareness was ignited spontaneously, beyond my control. Intricately woven by a myriad of lines intersecting at will, a mesmerizing circle of enchantment emerges. Simply gazing at it made my appetite vanish swiftly. I hardly came to comprehend the real essence of that enchantment. Even if I possessed double the amount of mana I have now, grasping the intricacies of that spell would still be a formidable challenge. Nevertheless, I can't help but feel a sense of relief that I managed to navigate through it all without encountering any problems. It's been quite some time. Just a quick look. That girl, wow. Those pure white locks and crystal clear gaze. That's a familiar face I've encountered countless times on my screen. How have you been doing lately? Yulia von der Frieden. Encountering Deculein's betrothed, a character destined to ascend to the heights of knighthood, took me by surprise. I never anticipated seeing her in this place. I could say, to put it simply, things have been going quite smoothly for me. How have you been holding up? It's surprising to see you doing okay after the promise you broke just last week. Hold on, what commitment is she mentioning? I'm completely lost about what she's talking about. Let's go with the flow. If your memory fails you, then. Are you considering escaping once again, just like you did before? It seems like she's determined to keep me here, with no plans of letting me go. I must have overlooked it since I've been unwell for some time. Could you please jog my memory about the commitment we agreed upon? I'm counting on you. If you maintain your honesty and admit to every lie and deceit you've perpetrated up until this point. No matter if this world falls apart. I'll stand by your side for eternity. Yet, trusting you was an error I deeply regret. Please depart. Alright, I guess it's time for me to say goodbye. Step up with determination, as Deculein and I are committed to ensuring political stability. Deculein, a remarkable talent in the realm of magic, has truly made a name for himself as an exceptional mage. Yulia, a knight gifted with a remarkable talent that will echo through the ages. Should these two manage to harmonize, it would unquestionably forge a union advantageous both politically and genetically, a truly remarkable alliance. The esteemed families of Deculein and Frieden. There was no dissent against the union that would bolster the influence of both clans. It's acceptable. This is merely my familial obligation. Perskang. Calm despite the fact that I've never harbored any affection for him. At a certain moment, both families came to the realization that Deculein's entire array of talents was merely a facade. He might have shunned the acceptance of his true self, duped everyone around, labeling himself as a master of spellcraft, and ascended to the rank of professor. Is this the decline of a genius? After 3 years, Deculein, the Mage Tower's youngest ever senior professor, has yielded no advancement in his studies, leaving one to question his brilliance. Following a particular event, the remarkable successes he once enjoyed tragically came to a halt. Despite everything, Deculein and Frieden managed to keep it hushed up. Neither of the illustrious households wished to become the center of rumors. Due to their connections in the political arena, they were unable to risk revealing their shortcomings. Nonetheless, I find it impossible to let go of what happened. I may be able to withstand a marriage devoid of love, but I simply cannot bear the thought of misleading everyone around me. This is my pledge as a knight. That was truly all that mattered. Alright, I'll go along with your request. You definitely consented to this too, no doubt about it. In the end, you inevitably completely shattered our commitment. In this game, the Imperial University stands out as the most esteemed educational institution. Within its array of departments, the realm of magic stands as the supreme challenge, the ultimate final boss. When you think about Korea, the magic department truly resembles the esteemed medical school of Seoul National University, while the Mage Tower stands as its prestigious university hospital. It's beautifully crafted. A sprawling and expansive campus that feels so inviting. This beautifully kept garden truly enhances the charm of this place. It shares numerous features with American campuses that make it feel so inviting. My team and I burned the midnight oil to craft this atmosphere. In my present circumstances, wandering through this place, it would otherwise be rather delightful. Quack. Oh dear. My apologies. I had an urgent matter to convey to you, Professor, which is why I was trailing behind you. It's the fellow who shared the carriage with me previously. I suspected an ambush at the time. Oh, it's you. Zorro, that's right, your name is Zorro, isn't it? Oh, not again. It's Alan. I confused them. Oh. Absolutely. They have a completely distinct sound, don't they? Is this the urgent message you had for me? Indeed, Professor. Here's the sponsorship roster for the incoming mages this year, straight from Deculein's office. The Mage Tower resembles genuine research facilities, as it necessitates financial backing to achieve significant progress in magical studies. The esteemed wizards at the Mage Tower generously offer yearly support to budding spellcasters with tremendous potential. Could this be a name shining with brilliance? This is likely due to Deculein's unique characteristic. This affluent tycoon, a natural-born business mogul and an outstanding financier, possesses an unmatched instinct for lucrative opportunities. The greater the amount of data available, the sharper his intuition gets. Exceptional vision. Uncommon. The knack for visually grasping intuition, qualities, energy, and other such aspects. This skill is mostly utilized alongside additional traits rather than standing alone. It's evident that the tycoon and the keen eyesight are collaborating. That name has to be a money-making moniker. There are several of these names, quite a handful indeed. However, one name shines above the rest. Ephorine Luna, a prominently featured character in the game. As per the developer behind her creation, losing her father due to Deculein appears to be a heartbreaking reality for her. However, why is it that Ephorine Luna lacks sponsorship? Oh, if only it were Ephorine. Perhaps everyone is just being careful. Sigh. I understand. Everyone seems to be on edge around Deculein. Considering she mastered magic without the benefit of an academy, relying solely on self-study, FFW, 0/500.008, her innate talent is truly remarkable. Nevertheless, Ephorine Luna stands as Deculein's formidable adversary. You know, Deculein is actually her arch-nemesis. Should the storyline unfold as it did in the initial game, with the risk of losing player engagement, the condition for completion appears to be the assassination of Deculein. I fear I might share the same unfortunate destiny. The antagonist's destiny, a global desire for his demise. Yet, every challenge that doesn't destroy him only fortifies his resolve. In the game, Deculein meets his end in a myriad of brutal ways. A sword might stab through his heart. Or perhaps a wand, but someone has tainted his spirit. He ends up ensnared in a devastating explosion. Regardless of the circumstances, the tragic reality is that he meets his end. To survive, I need to make radically different choices. Actions that the original Deculein would have never considered. Hey Alan, could you please go submit this and grab a couple of books while you're at it? I'll jot down the titles before I head out. Sounds good. I'm heading out now. Above all, surviving hinges on having a substantial amount of money. Certain fatal issues might be alleviated solely through financial means. Putting your money into talented mages with great potential is definitely a worthwhile approach. Yet, that by itself falls short. In this world, I am surrounded by individuals with names who harbor a deep disdain for me. And they will persistently pursue me without mercy. Consequently, if I genuinely wish to endure, what I require is an essential journey ahead. I need to cultivate my inner power. To endure and thrive, I must enhance my strength exponentially. Nevertheless, Deculein's abilities are rather lackluster. If this persists, I fear I won't be equipped to face the impending peril. Unless I step up my preparation significantly. The outcome looks grim. I feel overwhelmed by the countless impending losses that haunt me. One aspect that truly brings me comfort is his remarkable expertise. Even though Deculein longs to master the four elements, his ego remains a barrier to achieving that dream. His remarkable skills in wielding both earth and fire are undeniable, and there's no doubt about his exceptional talent in the art of manipulation magic. By skillfully blending the elements of earth and fire to forge metal, Deculein unlocked an extraordinary ability known as the Midas touch, adding yet another remarkable quality to his repertoire. Absolutely mesmerizing. This feature harnesses the user's magical energy to awaken the true capabilities of the chosen target, making each activation feel like a miraculous occurrence. Therefore, with Deculein's incredible talent for enchanting metal through his mystical powers, Levitating Spirit Blade, a sword technique that entails maneuvering the blade through the true essence of the object, rather than by hand. Certainly, we refer to it as the flying mind sword, yet in essence, it simply harnesses the power of telekinesis. Though telekinesis is considered an unconventional branch of magic, fundamental manipulation sorcery, the deficiency in strength can be compensated by the caliber of the metal employed. Nonetheless, to truly take full advantage of all that is offered, I feel compelled to master the art of manipulation, as it's a fascinating technique for skillfully guiding objects. Shall we give it a try? The incantations for fundamental control, they're all drilling into my mind. I can't help but wonder what would happen if I gave it a shot right now. I am capable of achieving this. I've successfully ingrained basic telekinesis, allowing me to wield this power seamlessly without the need for any incantation, and the newfound ease is absolutely exhilarating. Can you believe that something I once only encountered in a character's settings has now become a reality? Memorize, it's like a magical experience where a spell, completely grasped, is effortlessly activated by the mind. Even though it seems simple, the outcome of acquiring this skill so recently is truly impressive. Once I master advanced telekinesis, I'll be just a step away from reaching my desired power level. What am I supposed to do with this at this point? Imagine tattooing the entire magic circle directly onto my skin. In this realm, the greater the expanse of the magical circle, the stronger its force becomes. In this scenario, I'll employ deep comprehension to attune with my body, opting to embed this insight not just in my mind but also in my very soul. I'll amplify my telekinetic abilities by tattooing the magic circle all over my body, each mark a testament to my dedication and power. Naturally, there's a strong possibility of experiencing serious adverse effects. This physique boasts exceptional inherent strengths and qualities, showcasing pinnacle physical potential. However, due to the unique characteristic of the siren body, it is capable of enduring these side effects remarkably well. This is an experience that could only happen because of who I am. I still have approximately 800 mana left, which feels like more than sufficient for just a trial run. The agony is unbearable. Every inch of me feels like my bones are fracturing and my muscles are ripping apart. The agony I'm experiencing is unlike anything I've ever felt before. Yet, I remain steadfast. Not a single sound escapes my lips. This embodies the true honor of the noble. Mana, 1/3, 375. A wave of overwhelming fatigue crashes over me. I've let myself down due to my insufficient mana. Nonetheless, there was definitely a noticeable advancement. An enchanting sigil was etched into my shoulder. At this pace, it seems like it will take me roughly 2 weeks to etch the magic circle all over my body. Exactly 1 month following Deculein's distinguished lecture, the inaugural day of classes commenced at the university's Mage Tower. I can't help but feel this is quite a departure from what my seniors described. Were Professor Deculein's lectures always this way? The professor aims to assess your abilities. Employ any available resource here to generate outcomes. He simply left a sign and assigned a self-study for our inaugural lecture. What outcomes is he hoping to achieve by utilizing these components? Could that be the reason he opted for a lecture hall under the open sky? Where on earth is Professor Deculein? It's no surprise he's doing this. What an unreliable individual. To presume he'd dispatch everyone for independent study during the inaugural lecture, merely leaving a note in tow, what sort of individual does that? Oh my goodness, who could that be? It's Sylvia von Josipin's Iliad is a captivating masterpiece that truly resonates. How can she not recognize me? Seriously? What just occurred? If I'm not wrong, she's undoubtedly part of the Iliad lineage. A decade ago, the Iliads were skeptical about the capabilities of both my father and me. They dispatched a contingent of soldiers to encircle our estate, casting a menacing shadow over us. Still, she failed to see who I truly was. What's causing this strange behavior? The mana is being drained away somewhere. Hey there, may I ask what you're up to at this moment? Did you realize you snatched the tower I built? Hey, aren't you listening to me? What on earth is her problem? It feels like I'm completely invisible to her, is that really how it is? Hold on a second. Come on, Miss Sylvia, why are you acting like you don't recognize me? Just as I expected, there was no chance you wouldn't spot me, correct? You were the one who endangered my family and compelled me to abandon my magical pursuits, yet here you stand, trembling at the prospect of my return and the possibility that I might not only match, but exceed your prowess. I can't even figure out who you are. Why are you being so casual with me? I may not recognize you, but I'm well aware of your dad. Wait, what? That arrogant, careless aristocrat. I just found out that he passed away. Oh, wow. Look over there. You. What you just expressed dash. I challenge you to repeat that. You. I double dare you to repeat that. What on earth just transpired? Is everyone alright? Release your grip. Repeat that. How dare you disrespect my father? Should I bring this to a close right now? Wait, what was that? I can't seem to grasp what's going on with the lighting. Oh my goodness. What on earth is that? Eek. Is that a chasm? It was that moment when my energy met hers in a breathtaking clash. It's absorbing everything in its vicinity. Watch out. It's about to blow. Get out of here. Absolutely not. Should it detonate, shards of metal would scatter like deadly projectiles. And everyone here is doomed. Wait, what? It's eerily silent now. Did it just cease? What? When did he arrive? Why are the pieces just suspended in the air like that? As soon as Deculein unleashed his telekinetic powers, gasps of astonishment echoed among the spectators. Wow. As magic students, they experienced it more profoundly. The spellbinding elegance of magic truly captivated them. Everyone was compelled to admit. This was an eerily stunning display of magical control. Ladies and gentlemen, please take note. I'm going to halt our session for today. Everyone except those responsible for the disturbance is free to go. Damn. This is. Ah, so you two arrived here first in the interrogation room. Chairwoman, esteemed Professor Deculein. Indeed, with the dedication you both showcase, you could serve as inspiring exemplars for all mages. Retlon, the esteemed professor of the spiritual department, truly captivates with his profound insights. The supportive Professor, Relin, truly stands out. Greetings, Professor Retlon and Professor Relin. I can only imagine how unexpected this must have been for both of you, so I truly appreciate your prompt arrival. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Deculein? The esteemed chairwoman of the Imperial University's Mage Tower, Adlin Cecilian, is a figure of both reverence and awe. By the way, who had the audacity to lay a hand on the daughter of House Silade? Based on what I had heard, it was merely a pathetic creature that hadn't even managed to pass the academy. This is precisely why those faceless individuals. Nevertheless, I've heard that the esteemed Professor Deculein swiftly handled the matter, stopping it from escalating into a major uproar. I've heard similar things, and I must say, it's truly remarkable. They are openly complimenting me. Given that all the esteemed professors present are adept at maneuvering through elite circles, the outcomes of the disciplinary actions seem to have been nearly predetermined. Sylvia, the beloved offspring of the powerful Iliad family. And Ephraim, a disgraced noble who blends seamlessly with the crowd of commoners. It's clear whose side they would choose. This is the reason I must reconsider the disciplinary action decision. For quite a while now, I've had the opportunity to witness the ominous force leaking from Ephraim. I can see this solely through my keen perception. The entire universe desires his demise. Yet, every challenge he overcomes only amplifies his strength. My destiny as the antagonist is awakening. If I'm unable to alter the course of events, my demise will approach ever nearer. Alright, it's time to convene a disciplinary hearing for the novice mages, Ephraim and Sylvia. You. How dare you instigate a conflict in our revered classes? Thanks to Professor Deculein's intervention, countless lives were spared. Why did you end up in a conflict? What on earth? I can't reveal that. He's observing from a distant place above. Therefore, I find it hard to express it. I'm so sorry to hear about your father. I just found out he passed away. The way Sylvia disrespected my dad and subtly provoked me really got under my skin. I can't open up to that jerk at all. Are you serious right now? Just say something. Is it due to your feelings of inadequacy? You really shouldn't have ignored the status gap between you and Sylvia. How could you? Sylvia, the floor is yours. In the middle of the lesson, I unintentionally ruined this child's completed work, which sparked a heated debate. What? So, you didn't mean for this to occur, Sylvia? It's astonishing that such a minor issue spiraled into something so significant. You insignificant little. Is it possible that you struggle with controlling your temper? Madam Chairwoman, this situation warrants immediate expulsion. We simply cannot permit someone with such a violent nature to continue being part of our community. It feels chilling. It's incredibly frustrating to endure all these insults from the school's disciplinary committee. The reality of being the sole target of criticism weighs heavily on me. I find it hard to articulate my feelings. And in this moment, I feel utterly alone, with no one to stand by my side. It's freezing here. Deculein. This entire mess is all because of that scoundrel. Well, it seems like we're all on the same page now, huh? Prior to making our ultimate choice, let's hear Professor Deculein's perspective, given that he was present at the scene. As the esteemed senior professor of the tower and a dedicated member of the disciplinary committee, I, Deculein, must express my profound disappointment. It's all come to an end. Do you honestly think you're entirely blameless in this situation? Could you clarify? Sylvia von Josipin Iliad. I'm sorry, what? Once more, let me be clear, do you genuinely have a clean conscience about this event? What do you mean by that? What's going on with this progress? WWH are you implying, Professor Deculein? You had every opportunity to prevent that situation from happening, yet you chose to remain inactive. Or could it be that the gifted individual, from whom everyone expected remarkable achievements? Is that really all it adds up to? I must admit, I allowed the situation to worsen intentionally, hoping for a harsher punishment for Ephraim. Really? What's even more striking is why Deculein is interrogating Sylvia and not me. In the end, it's evident that I'm the one at fault, isn't it? Even so, I can't place the blame on the defender, esteemed Professor Deculein. It's the attacker who should be held responsible. Should you choose to go down that path, then I must take responsibility for structuring my lecture in this manner. Is that what you would prefer, Professor Reelin? Certainly not. I simply get the impression that this is somewhat. He's actually challenging the very professor who's been backing Sylvia. What could possibly drive him to take such extreme measures? Why on earth is Deculein standing up for me? This must cease immediately. Children inevitably develop through their playful battles with one another. Given their recent debut, instead of dampening their spirit by criticizing every minor flaw, let's be lenient this one time. Well, it seems you're off the hook. You may return now without any penalties. Are you kidding me? I was bracing myself to be thrown out. That's exactly how I thought the real Deculein would react. Why is that? As anticipated from the esteemed Professor Deculein, your perspective on everything stands apart from the ordinary crowd. Everything is done with the students in mind. Pardon me. I'm curious, does he still recall the last name Luna? Is he aware of who my dad is? Does he even realize the torment my father endured throughout his life because of him, only to finally succumb to the pain? I'm curious about something. This is precisely what I anticipated. I'm curious. Can you recall the enchanting house Luna? Can you believe it? My father passed away all because of your twisted fantasies. Could this bring that memory back to him? If he alters the disciplinary outcome to protect himself, how should I respond? Yet. How could that person not even recall my dad? How could that person possibly forget my dad? It's just unbelievable. You really shouldn't have to inquire about it. Don't let your incredible potential slip away by fixating on the past. He understands. Deculein truly understands both me and my father. If he didn't, he certainly wouldn't have stood by me. He stepped in, driven by a subtle sense of duty, truly making a difference for me. He experiences guilt due to my father's death while under his supervision. He acted purely out of a sense of compassion. I feel a sense of relief wash over me. As long as he still remembers that moment and hasn't let go of our connection, everything will be okay. For the time being, it's perfectly okay. The villain's destiny triumphed over the variable of death. Currency in the store increased by 2. Wow, I can't believe that really occurred. Darling, you won't have to dwell on that child anymore. Gilthian von Ludwig, the esteemed head of the Iliad household and an esprit mage of rank 3, exudes an aura of profound magic and nobility. While Ephorine Luna undeniably possesses remarkable skill, she is a young soul who has unfortunately lost her moment to shine. 10 years back, on the fateful day of the ability assessment as part of the academy admission exam. It was then that I first encountered her. Oh my! Each of you possesses the innate ability to ascend to the extraordinary ranks of an archmage. Heavens! 2 individuals in our area? What's going on? The pinnacle of the enchanted world, a status of everlasting life. These, eternal, beings are so elevated that even the emperor cannot reach them. Those who attain that level are hailed as archmages and immortalized in the annals of the continent's history. In line with age-old custom, an era can accommodate only 3 archmages, a fact that both mystifies and captivates me. This has nothing to do with categories or properties, it's simply an unspoken truth of the enchanting world. Apart from Demican, who had already ascended to the eternal rank, there were 2 vacant spots left. The chairperson of the Mage Tower, Adlin, was a formidable candidate for one of those positions. Soy, the beloved daughter of the illustrious House Iliad, alongside Ephorine, the cherished daughter of the esteemed House Luna, representing the branch family. Faced with no alternative, I had to fight for that last position. Even in the absence of my father's words, I felt it deep within me. Stop trying to enroll your daughter in the academy, Kagan Luna. We watched as Iliad's crushed House Luna, hiding behind the pretense of tension between the houses, but the truth is, it was all due to my actions. I wanted to become the archmage, leaving behind the path of Ephorine to forge my own destiny. Achieving the status of an archmage is not only my aspiration but also my responsibility. Do you fear that I might close the gap? Absolutely not, she's incredibly irritating. Sweetheart, you can stop worrying about that girl now, but just keep your guard up around Deculein. Excuse me? Deculein is far from being a straightforward issue. Despite his current rut, he was once hailed as a prodigy. There's a chance he could reignite his brilliance at any instant. I'm well aware of that fact. Professor Deculein has most likely already. I realized the bait I set up was discovered. Those days. I surely dismissed the mana Ephorine that was used against me. Next, I set up a trap spell designed to activate and detonate exclusively in response to Ephorine Luna's mana. Had the situation intensified, the consequences for Ephorine would have undoubtedly been more severe. Nevertheless, Deculein was able to see right through my schemes. After double-checking that no mystical monitoring was in place within the auditorium, I went ahead with the plan. Instead of pointing fingers and saying, "Sylvia, you were the one responsible," readerscans.com, he took a softer approach and claimed that I had failed to intervene. I was fully aware of their intentions, leaving me no option but to yield to their demands. I initially perceived him as nothing more than a conceited individual, overly sure of his abilities. But who is he truly beneath the surface? A couple of days later, the grand estate of Deculein awaited. This is Roy. Have you finished getting everything ready? I'll be arriving shortly. I was convinced that supporting Ephorine in the disciplinary committee meeting was the best decision I could make. 1,000 Reaper scans. I successfully removed the mortality factor and managed to acquire some in-game currency. I was completely taken aback when I realized that it was Ephorine who posed the question for the very first time. Even back then, it seemed like she harbored some resentment toward Deculein. Certainly, the situation could have easily turned Sylvia into an adversary as well. Nevertheless, I had to confront the pressing issue before me, so there was no other choice. Oh, the world of elite gatherings. I tried my best to steer clear of them. Regrettably, I simply can't pass up the chance to grab some store credit. Side quest, join the festive gathering, Blossom of the New Year, earn currency plus 0.5. I require a minimum of 5 different currencies to be able to enter the store. I'll casually browse through the list of attendees I recognize. Greetings, esteemed Professor Deculein. Every one of them appears to hail from a distinguished aristocratic lineage. I couldn't help but notice a few characters with names that felt wonderfully familiar. For instance, take that particular one. This is a helm, someone I truly embodied in my modeling journey. Perhaps visiting this place turned out to be a far better choice than I initially imagined. Can you believe that? Incredible. Professor Deculein is truly outstanding. I want to share my thoughts on the classes my child is enrolled in. My child's name is... Oh, Professor Deculein. I've been eagerly awaiting this moment to meet you for ages. Professor, no, let me rethink this. Ms. Ganesha. I've been captivated by your contributions highlighted in the latest Continental Journal. Professor, would it be alright if we grabbed a bite to eat sometime? My place is, hold on. I absolutely caught someone mentioning Ganesha just now. In the realm of adventurers, her role is crucial to the narrative right now. Cultivating a strong bond with her could turn out to be my greatest reward from this experience. Where could she be? I distinctly caught someone mentioning her name. Wow, I really have to seize this moment to establish a bond with her. As an avid gamer, I recently dove into the initial World Combat rankings with the character, Adventurer, Ganesha, and I was thrilled to secure a top 5 position right off the bat. Where in the world could Ganesha possibly be? She has to be close by. Reap. Scored a hit with finding her. Her cascading, fiery red locks were playfully styled into twin tails, and she embodied the spirit of a daring explorer. I must rush to locate her. One foot in front of the other. Wow, just take a look at this. Could that possibly be Professor Deculein? Right now, of all moments. A helm, the illustrious 4th-rank mage monarch of the Imperial Court, commands an awe-inspiring presence. Wow, I'm truly flabbergasted that the esteemed Professor Deculein even recognizes me. Step. Bit by bit, it feels like ages since we last caught up. How's your research coming along? I hope you won't think I'm being impolite, but I've been hearing some peculiar whispers lately. What are you trying to say? Oh, it's really not a big deal. Just that your research has stagnated for 3 years, and there are murmurs doubting your capabilities as a professor. This individual is blatantly ridiculing me. He was a fellow student of Deculein during their university days. Should you require my help, I would be more than happy to lend a hand. Although they once enjoyed a warm relationship, Stavis now harbors evident resentment towards Deculein, especially after Deculein's ascent to the senior professor position at his expense. Such an attempt to provoke might have had an effect on the original Deculein, but to me, it holds no significance. It's not as if he's mistaken. The whispers Ehel mentioned are almost entirely accurate. She's vanished. Ganesha has disappeared. You carry yourself with such arrogance, yet the truth is, no one will ever truly appreciate you. So, even in this moment, I completely lost sight of Ganesh due to this idiotic nuisance. Hey there, Ahelm. What's going on? Stay in your lane and disappear, you putrid excuse of a human. Why, you heard me right. Rancid cheese. Are you serious? Oh no. I have to track down Ganesha before she departs from the event and make sure to connect with her. The whole scheme is unraveling. Has anyone seen Professor Deculein? Professor Deculein is missing. Ugh. Even after breaking free from a helm, so many folks are still hanging on to me. That's precisely why I was hesitant about attending the social event. Professor Deculein. Ganesha? You've got to be kidding me. This twist is absolutely wild and unexpected. What a delightful surprise to see you. Were you perhaps hoping to run into me? I was merely attempting to rid myself of the leeches when suddenly, Ganesha appeared before me. Was there a significant connection between Ganesha and Deculein that we should not overlook? I found myself wandering aimlessly. Huh, just kidding, but seriously, you were genuinely searching for me. I sense there's a topic on your mind that you'd like to explore. I truly apologize for the last mission. I've returned the deposit and covered the penalty fee. Could you please be lenient with me just this one time? We entered into an agreement at some point in the past. I deeply regret that I wasn't able to present you with the child possessing extraordinary abilities, as you had hoped, Professor. It's not that I was unable to take her, but rather that my heart wasn't in it. I became so emotionally invested that I just couldn't let her go to you, Professor. Now I understand her intentions. Deculein was intending to go through that cycle once more. He attempted to compensate for his own unfulfilled aspirations by showcasing the incredible abilities of gifted youngsters. Allow me to pose a question. What would that be? Professor, how much longer do you intend to endure this way of life? For how long, right? Prior to taking over Deculein's form. This individual welcomed praise from those who had no value to him, brought heartbreak to the people who believed in him, and caused immense suffering to countless individuals just to protect his own image. Nonetheless, moving forward, I plan to embrace a new way of life. That certainly wasn't the response I anticipated. I genuinely believed you were going to end my life. Particularly after I fled from a task that you definitely wouldn't want anyone to find out about. That seems like an overblown worry. Why on earth would I attempt to harm her at this moment, especially with the immense power she possesses? That would be a reckless decision leading to disaster. I'm not familiar with the original Deculein, but I'm curious to learn more. However, Ganesha is a uniquely identified character capable of taking a life with merely a single hair from her head. Her characteristics encompass the renowned, ultimate authority, and an unbreakable spirit. A genuine fighter and explorer, having ascended to the zenith of bodily prowess. Ultimate champion, when an individual attains the zenith of combat skills, employing various techniques leads to an identical level of excellence. Asterisk unbreakable. A condition where the body attains a toughness akin to that of diamonds. Deculein likely refrained from dispatching an assassin to target Ganesha, as I had taken control of his body. Had he done so, he would undoubtedly be deceased by this point. It's not quite what I anticipated, but... did something you ate today not agree with you? Ultimately, I succeeded in forging meaningful relationships at this event. There's nothing keeping me here anymore. I'm heading out, so there's no need for you to fret. Are you departing as well? Are you absolutely certain? You truly won't command my elimination or banishment. Can you truly be certain? That would be unbefitting of my stature. When it comes to Deculein's strength, as Ganesha pointed out, I could definitely apply some pressure on her via the Adventurers Guild. Nevertheless, should circumstances take a turn for the worse, a fatal risk could emerge. This is utterly shocking. Dingy, villain's doom, dodged the death trap. Store funds +1. Are you kidding me? It used to say, overcame, but now it reads, avoided, and that shift in wording really changes the entire feel of it. I didn't grasp it back then, but that discussion turned out to be a game changer. I feel a constant unease, as if there's no place where I can truly let my guard down. Hey, sis, how much longer are you planning to just sit here like this? Rayli Yulia, a daring adventurer and proud debutante, shines brightly as a 12th rank relative. I had no desire to set foot in this place from the very beginning. Oh, come on. Enough already, just get over here. Absolutely not. How have you been feeling about him lately? What on earth are you saying? Whispers about Professor Deculein have been circulating, and it's causing me a great deal of concern. Everything has been absolutely dreadful. You honestly shouldn't voice that, it could lead to some serious misunderstandings. Deculein? Really? This choice surprised me. What? Professor Deculein is actually departing? The man who adores the high life to such an extent. I can't believe it, right? He's actually walking out without even glancing at his fiancée. Is it possible that his troubled engagement is the reason behind this? If so, it seems the whispers we've been hearing might indeed hold some truth. On that particular day, Deculein unusually dashed out of the social hall without delay. Gossip circulating among the elite suggests it stemmed from his clash with Yulia. However, Kim Woo-jin was completely oblivious to the rumors swirling around. Ding! Side quest accomplished. Participate in the New Year Blossom Gathering, earned currency plus 0.5, total currency now, 4.5 coins. What a delightful experience. It's been 2 weeks since I experienced the New Year's Blossom. Ever since that moment, alongside honing my memorization skills and mastering the fundamentals of telekinesis, I began my journey to enhance my physical endurance because I felt the pressing need to boost my overall fitness. I found myself on the brink of death while attempting something utterly insane. Just a couple of days back. Ugh. If I were a typical mage, I would have perished. I believe I survived solely due to my iron body attribute. After my transformative encounter with Ganesha, I was fervently driven to bolster my powers, particularly by integrating fire control into my pre-existing telekinetic abilities. Aiming for an unprecedented level of mastery. This was a transformative experience as I infused the core of the spell into telekinesis. It would empower me, enhancing my strength and speed by drastically reducing the time needed to master the art of magic. Nevertheless, I found it to be just as perilous and impulsive as it was advantageous. Because of the immense pressure it places on the body. Enhancing my physical fitness has become just as vital as honing my magical abilities. Ever since that moment, I've embraced a revitalizing morning ritual. Oh man. I can't believe it's already time to head to the office. Alan, what do we have here? Professor Deculein's office? This is a formal announcement from the Wizard's Citadel. This specifically originates from the committee responsible for professor qualifications. In half a year, there will be a meeting to evaluate the advancements in Professor Deculein's research. I kindly ask that you prepare all the necessary documents by that time. The presence of an audit hearing underscores that Deculein's research had been stagnating for quite some time, even before my transmigration. This scenario is truly detrimental to me. In this game, Deculein is consistently recognized as a professor. Full name, Deculein von Greyhan Yuck. His role, esteemed senior professor. MP, 357, and his talent level stands proudly at grade 6. If holding the title of professor is a necessary requirement for this journey, then I risk losing my job. Losing my shot at reclaiming reality feels devastating. I truly wish there's something intriguing waiting for us in Deculein's lab, at the very least. What a disaster. It seems as though it has been left to decay for quite some time. There's absolutely no chance the lab would look like this if Deculein ever spent time here. That strange mound of sludge appears incredibly out of place. What could it be concealing? I'm not sure who was behind this, but it certainly seems like someone wanted to prevent Deculein from getting involved. I never imagined that telekinesis could prove to be so useful in a situation like this. All the information appears to be encrypted, almost as if they're trying to hide the essence of the study. Yet, that's pointless. It's all about grasping the concept. A dazzling beam of golden radiance. It surely must have been extraordinary research. The powerful influence of a wealthy tycoon, coupled with keen vision, is truly remarkable. To shine so brightly. Unfortunately, this study feels unfinished. With pages torn out and sections left blank, it's quite disappointing. In this section, the theory is utterly flawed. Even with its shortcomings, this study must be truly remarkable if the affluent magnate is reacting like this. Isn't this little one? Ephraim Luna? I understand now. Ephraim's father attempted to conceal this fact during his tenure as a researcher at Deculein. The wizards from House Luna harbored deep resentment towards Deculein. Ephraim's life turned out to be fraught with difficulties, all due to Deculein. Have no fears. I will wrap up this study with a deep sense of insight. If I manage to finalize this research paper, I will proudly include your name. Being a co-author means we share the spotlight, but it's tough for me to see you taking all the glory when I'm desperately seeking recognition for my hard work. At the Light and Salt coffee shop on campus, it's essential for us everyday folks to unite. This year's class comprises just 30 everyday people. Without our collaboration, who can predict the dire consequences that could await us? Wouldn't you say so, Defying? Why yeah. I may be of noble blood, but... oh, what a disappointment. How am I supposed to maintain my dignity as a noble? How can I even think about a home when I don't even possess a piece of land? Are you aware that your attendance is absolutely essential? Absolutely. You're our representative. She's spot on. You even confronted Sylvia with courage. It feels like they've chosen me to be the voice of the everyday folks. Haha. I mean, come on, everyone. Aren't we supposed to get the green light from a faculty advisor before we can start a club? I doubt any of the faculty would approve of us coming together like this. That truly is the most significant obstacle. What do you think about Professor Reelin? That heavyset fellow is notorious for his preferential treatment of the aristocracy. Could this be Professor Camel? Don't get me started about him. He treats ordinary folks like they don't even matter. It's clear that we can eliminate Professor Deculein from consideration. I'm curious if they'll complete that. Please, don't wrap it up. Please. I've figured it out. Defying, let's reach out to Professor Deculein. You'll be looking for us, won't you? No way. To be honest, upon reflection, he appears quite impartial. Whether you're a peasant or a prince, you're all equally beneath his gaze. You mentioned that you managed to dodge disciplinary action because of his intervention. Perhaps he has developed a fondness for you. I'm not convinced that's the case. He really doesn't strike me as someone like that. Everything seems to be taking a strange turn. I genuinely wish to avoid seeing him unless absolutely necessary. I honestly can't believe this. Seriously, just take a moment to consider it. Can you? Please. As I've mentioned, you're off the mark. In fact, things could get much worse for us if I were to approach him. Is everything okay, Julia? Step aside, please. Deculein. I can't believe it. Deculein. I'm absolutely taken aback. Embrace the challenge, Defying. Julia. When did you decide to abandon us? You turncoat. Oh, Professor Deculein. I'm in the process of starting a club, and I really need your signature, Professor. Ugh, fine. We promise not to disturb you. It's just that the other faculty members aren't exactly fond of clubs for regular folks. I'd rather not get caught up with Deculein, yet I can't deny that what others have pointed out resonates with me. It's clear that the other faculty members are unwilling to work together. Instead of allowing myself to be manipulated by those individuals any longer, why not give it a shot? What do you think? Please gather all the information into a document and forward it to my office when you can. Excuse me. Here. He actually signed it. Oh, indeed. Was it really that simple? Was it truly that straightforward? Incredible. Defying, did you manage to get a signature from Professor Deculein himself? I only hinted at it, and look, it came true. Why? Even during the disciplinary meeting, why does he seem so kind to me? Today's lecture delves into the fascinating concept of fundamental elements. Everyone is aware that elements serve as the fundamental essence of almost every form of magic. Nevertheless, many mages continue to struggle with grasping the distinction between types of magic and elemental forces. Could it be that nagging feeling of remorse? Or is he actually feeling a sense of compassion for me? Following the tragic push that sent my father plummeting to his demise, whatever actions he takes now merely come across as overly dramatic and insincere. If he genuinely understands the gravity of his mistakes, he ought to confess his wrongdoing to everyone and seek redemption. Is everything okay with you, Defying? What's going on? You've been looking rather down for a while now. Don't give those people any attention. They are just full of themselves and have nothing substantial to offer. What on earth is Julia rambling about? Oh. Just see that girl in the back, desperately trying to catch the lecture. Why is she gazing at us like that? This is so frustrating. Haha. It seems I've turned into the villain in the eyes of the aristocrats. Yet, I am one of them. It's alright, Julie. This isn't the first time this has happened, you know. Let's set them aside and concentrate on the presentation instead. Every enchanting circle you've instinctively crafted carries a sense of logic in every curve and angle. Yet, for some inexplicable reason, despite my reluctance to tune into Deculein's lectures, remarkably, by simply adding 2 strokes, this ignition magic circle can generate flames in a variety of colors. These 2 lines are crucial as they directly influence the hue of the flame. Today, you'll be diving into the enchanting charm that awaits you. Radiant Blaze. Ephraim was truly experiencing something beyond mere imagination. Deculein's lectures often felt like a display of his own arrogance, exploiting his role as a professor. In contrast, the lecture delivered by Kim Woo-jin was a mesmerizing demonstration of manhwa in action. He was artistically broadening the perception of the elite. Every newcomer who attended his talks was taken aback. Similarly, those who had once reveled in the thrill of discovery found themselves distant from that joy, overshadowed by their own brilliance. Like Sylvia, this experience truly resonates. As we all are aware, this enchanting ring generates water. Yet, when you incorporate its lines into the enchanting circle for fire, it occurs, indeed. It's incredible. The flames are dancing and moving as freely as a river. Incredible. This lecture packs an astounding amount of theory into it. The so-called genius mages predominantly harness their magical abilities through a deep sense of intuition. Theory feels like a confining prison for them. If every sorcerer rigidly followed the principles of their craft, every incantation is locked within rigid confines, destined to be endlessly replicated. The reason for this was that an excessive emphasis on theory took away precious time that could have been dedicated to practicing real magic. Approaching the essence of magic solely through theoretical frameworks proved to be a counterproductive approach, stifling the mage's growth and development. This was the paradox of the magical arts. Ultimately, achieving elite status requires a remarkable sense of intuition. However, those in power often struggle to articulate their own gut feelings to others. For a person like him, whose abilities are under scrutiny, to deliver a lecture filled with such abstract concepts. This is astonishing. Oh, how disappointing. It's nothing like what I expected. I believe that was the very first occasion I concentrated so intensely during a lecture. Mage Tower dorms. Wow, this is quite intriguing. How much longer will they continue with these immature antics? It's infuriating to see such arrogant fools lurking around the Mage Tower when they don't even belong to the academy. It has deteriorated even more after the confrontation with Sylvia. Really? Is this a certificate of sponsorship? Wow. I almost got swept away by that. Yet, it just doesn't add up. Is there anyone out there willing to support me, someone who bears the legacy of House Iliad and Deculein? To be honest, this is quite impressive. I'm going to expose the sponsorship scam and claim the reward money. The Magic Bureau. It's genuinely captivating. Excuse me. This is an authentic sponsorship certificate. The seal is genuine. Oh my gosh. You can't be serious. Is this actually happening? Will I wake up from this, or this? I hope nobody noticed that, did they? Isn't this going to spark some gossip? Like, do I really have 100,000 asterisk? To be on the safe side, I ought to get my things ready so I can take off at a moment's notice. Oh, I simply had to head over to the office and discuss it there. Wow, this is certainly peculiar. I can't believe someone would actually bring this up. The look on the employee's face was quite peculiar. Was she trying to get into my wallet? Oh, I really should have paid closer attention. Yet. Ow, ow, this hurts. This can't be real. Someone truly appreciates my abilities. I'm finally feeling truly alive. Just a bit more time. Let's push ourselves harder. One more time. Seriously, are you kidding me about the Deculein Deculein mansion in the capital city of Deculein province? Indeed, I've been informed that Master Deculein set off for the auction house in Hatsinsel. By now, he must have reached his destination. He squandered a staggering 10 million elm on managing the domain's finances just last year. What kind of chaos is he attempting to unleash by heading to the auction house? I'll never let him off the hook if he creates another problem. Discover the vibrant commercial hub of Luton, where the enchanting Skatsinsel auction house awaits. I have finally discovered what I've been longing for. Once I began to embrace telekinesis as my primary weapon, I realized that I needed to embrace metal in order to compensate for my shortcomings in skill. The beloved object I'm currently using is crafted from wood steel. However, this is merely a short-term solution. Wood steel boasts an identical look and heft to regular wood, yet it is crafted from the finest metal, surpassing steel in hardness. Today, what I truly desire is going under the hammer. The exclusive VVIP lounge awaits. Oh dear. I never saw this coming. How have you been? I never expected to run into Yulia here. I understand you submitted 2 novice wizards to the disciplinary panel. You're rather sluggish when it comes to catching up on the news. So what? Are you seriously going to point the finger at me once more? These newcomers have only just stepped into the tower. Are you aiming to crush the aspirations and dreams of these fresh faces? Your missteps will come back to haunt you as karma dictates. Avoid falling into the same traps as before. This is the last bit of wisdom I can share with you. Yulia is sharing her ultimate choice with me. It seems she's made up her mind. After enduring years in her relationship with Deculein, she finally decided to draw the line. In fact, it's quite positive, and I feel the same way. Regardless of her stunning beauty, that alone isn't a compelling reason for me to tie the knot. I didn't take that step even in my past life. Furthermore, the numerous factors surrounding her could ultimately bring about my downfall, her presence included. I might even risk my life during the wedding celebration. Based on my understanding, Yulia isn't exactly the kind of person who would step foot in an auction house. What on earth is she doing here? Did you really travel all the way to the auction house just to tell me that? I can't believe it. You must be out of your mind. I certainly didn't come here to see you. I'm only here because I have my eye on something I really want to purchase. It's the truth. There's definitely something I'm on the hunt for. I understand, so let's just take it easy. All it takes is a single word from you for me to get it. Humph. That was adorable. I've never witnessed her behaving like that. He's truly the one who got it all wrong. Hold on a moment. What is this feeling? Just a moment ago, I viewed her as a possible threat. Could it be? Have I fallen prey to Deculein's enchantment? I've been wary of letting his character sway my thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen of Skatsinsel, we are excited to announce that the auction will commence shortly. There's absolutely no chance, it simply isn't possible. My heart doesn't race at all when I catch a glimpse of her. I'm just feeling anxious for no apparent reason. The very first piece that caught my eye is the stunning Eastern vase. Admire this stunningly graceful curve. Truly, a piece crafted by a virtuoso artisan from the Eastern lands. The glow I witnessed in Ephorine's document was akin to the brilliant aura of a prosperous tycoon. Furthermore, the brightness is intensifying more and more. Given that. Wow, can you believe it? A whopping 700,000 from number 993. And an impressive 750,000 from number 1038. That's a staggering total of 1.3 million. Wow, a stunning 1.5 million from our esteemed guest 1413. Wow. An impressive bid of 2.5 million from distinguished guest 777. It's the winning offer. The glow from the pot remained unwavering until the price skyrocketed, suggesting its value has only increased. Given that I have sufficient funds, it seems wise to retain only what I require and allocate the remainder for investment. My current balance stands at 205,238,0393. What an exhilarating moment. Our esteemed guest 777 has triumphantly secured the bid for Lufrin's ring at an impressive 3 million. Meanwhile, Lucho's scissors has also made waves. fetching a stunning 2.1 million eln. Wow, can you believe it? A staggering 4.3 million for that ancient rune necklace. The esteemed bidder 777 raises the stakes with another offer of 5.5 million eln. And there it is, the triumphant bid. Oh, what excitement. 777 has been on a winning streak for quite some time now. Could this be Professor Deculein from Deculein, perhaps? How sad. Is he really seeking the spotlight, even in an environment like this? I had a feeling about this. He's simply worlds apart from me. It's heartbreaking to see him squander so much cash just to impress others for a fleeting moment. I find it perplexing that he fails to grasp the importance of being humble and living simply. Perhaps it's time for me to ignore him altogether. I really need to stop focusing on him. Here's the final piece for today's auction. A legendary artifact pursued by countless adventurers, yet elusive to obtain. It's the precious ore that was crucial in crafting the Empire's famed swords of lore. The enchanting beauty of the natural world, the fiery spirit of winter. The mesmerizing Snowfire gem. Snowfire stone is truly among the rarest and most valuable treasures on the planet. This material, often employed in the creation of cold weapons such as swords, embodies a fascinating paradox. True to its name, it is an extraordinary and seldom seen substance that beautifully marries the elements of coldness and warmth. The top-tier materials for crafting swords, beyond compare, are nothing short of legendary, such as dragon bones. That's precisely why the Snowfire stone virtually stands as the most outstanding material one can realistically obtain. I'm absolutely transforming my beloved gear with that mesmerizing Snowfire stone. 10 million, 13 million, whoa, hitting 20 million. Then 25 million. And now 30 million eln from 1089. Is anyone else in shock? We'll wrap up the auction at this amount. Awesome, I've secured the win. Wow, number 777 has a staggering 31 million eln. Absolutely incredible. The number 777 was the one that was dialed repeatedly throughout the day, over and over again. I can't believe I wouldn't recognize you. What on earth is the reason behind this? Deculein is absolutely amazing. Wow, can you believe it? A staggering 32 million eln from 1089, and then another incredible 33 million eln from 777. What an astonishing feat. The Snowfire stone is truly exquisite sword material. It must be a splendid gift for your fiancée, wouldn't you say? If you were planning to give it away, you could have simply handed it over to her. How incredibly thoughtful of you. Really? Oh, so Yulia is the one I've been going up against all this time. I suppose the allure of the Snowfire stone is strong enough to captivate her. If I happen to come out on top, she could very well start feeling bitter towards me. However, I truly crave this opportunity as well. It took a full 3 years to show up. Who knows when it might happen again? It may be somewhat daring, yet out of love for my beloved possession, I will surely. I must obtain the Snowfire stone for my own. I'll go with the final offer. 42 million eln. The possessor of the enchanted metal, Snowfire stone, will be. Welcome, guest number 777, a truly lucky numeral. It was absolutely thrilling. Ultimately, Professor Deculein emerged victorious in the auction. Undoubtedly, the bidding war at this auction was incredibly fierce. However, Lady Fryden definitely crossed the line. Professor Deculein was merely attempting to present a gift to his fiancée. He really poured his heart and soul into this. You've experienced all there is to experience. Are you, really going through the same ordeal we faced last year once more? I would never have hoped for anything like this. Should you desire it, I could offer you all of this and so much more. Indeed, anything you wish for is within my power to provide. This engagement ceremony was an absolute disaster. With this, you'll be drawn to me. I'm truly something special. All I could sense was an overwhelming air of conceit. Standing before the treasures he so boastfully showcased, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of indignation. You're already aware. What I genuinely desire from you. I burst out of the room in a fit of anger, ultimately sabotaging the engagement ceremony all on my own. However, that was just the beginning of the journey. She had an unwavering sense of pride, but in the end, she found herself with Deculein. I've heard whispers that, as part of the marriage agreement, she was assured the title of Knight Commander within House Deculein. It is said that it was Lady Yulia who was the first to hold on to him tightly. Horrible gossip that undermined my beliefs surfaced, and it was clear who had been the source of it all. Does he genuinely believe that by doing this, he'll win Mu Epsilon back? What a ridiculous notion. Regardless of his efforts, my heart simply can't find a way to love someone like him. Once more, Deculein. Are you kidding me? Are you also interested in the enchanting Snowfire Stone? How much longer do you intend to play with my feelings? I sincerely apologize. Are you serious right now? I'm heading out now. Wait, what? What on earth is he saying sorry for? Could it be that he surpassed my bid for the Snowfire Stone? Yet, the Deculein I'm familiar with doesn't strike me as someone who would act that way. Wow, Yulia. Sis, quick, get in already. In this narrative, we encounter Josephine, the eldest daughter, and Yulia, her older sister, both integral members of the prestigious Frydan household. Yulia was likely intending to use the Snowfire Stone to forge her cherished weapon. Now that I've outbid her on it, her anger is completely justified. The absence of a death variable for Yulia is rather surprising. How utterly insignificant was the Deculein she took down. It's great to have you back, Master. Is everything okay? The arrival of Lady Uriel has finally graced us. That was the cost to obtain the mining rights. You promised to keep it safe for just a moment, and this is your handling. Ah, it makes sense now. Even though it was a private matter, the amount was just overwhelming. I really let my guard down. Rest assured, I took great care to select items that will bring in a nice profit. I feel completely discarded. This is really disappointing. Is it really all I'm here for, just to pick up your mess? Furthermore, the estate's financial situation is precarious, and despite the relentless efforts of the staff and myself to prevent it from falling apart. Did you really blow all that in just one day and believe you got something worthwhile in return? What sort of fool? Wasted every last penny of the mansion's fortune on reckless bets. The destiny of the villain is unfolding before our eyes. However, amidst that crimson energy, a radiant golden light shines through. The influential tycoon's dominance is equally evident. In essence, this is quite straightforward. If I am unable to address this situation, it will turn into a fatal factor. If I conquer this challenge, it will transform into a massive wealth generator. I've got the answer to this issue all figured out. No need to fret, Uriel. Silence. Do I appear concerned? Due to your actions, I'm forced to bear the brunt of the suffering once more. How can I possibly continue living this way? Can you believe I left university and never experienced love all because of you? You really don't need to go there. What do you mean by that? Since the day our parents passed away, all you've done is mess around and throw money away. To blow through 150 million elm in a single day. That's just outrageous. I'll assign you the role of the family leader. What did you just say? Uriel, I told you I'm offering you the role of head of the Deculein house. Cut the crap. Mind your manners, you're on track to be the next leader. Cut the BS. I've got no reason to fib. If you genuinely doubt my words, we can swear a mage's oath. What on earth? An oath? You're talking about the kind that could cost you your life if you fail to uphold it? Are you really being serious right now? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold on, this is completely baffling. Why the abrupt change? Could it be that you bumped your head at some point? If you're skeptical about what I'm saying, that's completely your choice. If you break your promise down the line, you might as well consider yourself finished. Any thoughts on heading back straight away? Absolutely. Someone splurged a fortune at the auction, now I'm stuck dealing with the fallout. The villain's destiny triumphed over the variable of death, currency in the store increased by 2. It's as if a tempest just swept by. Luckily, everything calmed down without any mishaps, which is a huge relief. In contrast to my role as a senior professor, stepping down from the title of head of the house will not create any issues at all. As I gradually transform things, one small change at a time. Perhaps one day I'll find a way to break free. Your promise of change seems to hold more weight than mere talk. Could this be Ganesha? A surprise visitor? I apologize, I couldn't help but wander over out of sheer intrigue. However, what unfolded before my eyes was so astonishing that I simply had to take a moment to absorb it. All. Should I really be surprised? She would undoubtedly excel as the head of the household far more than I ever could. Even so, it comes as quite a shock. After all, Uriel von Dellen Deculein is an absolutely captivating character. Their presence alone elevates the entire narrative. She doesn't possess even a hint of Deculein lineage within her. What could she possibly be implying? I don't remember there ever being an option like that. Ultimately, Uriel von Dellen Deculein is completely devoid of any trace of Deculein heritage. Uriel is my stepsister in this context. I had a hunch that she wasn't completely Deculein's younger sister. But, she isn't of the Deculein lineage at all. This scenario is utterly unfamiliar to me. Are you genuinely okay with that? After all, you were the one who asked me for it. You were curious to find out if your sister was really your biological sibling. I've already mentioned it, but I can feel your concern. Behind the curtain, an intriguing scenario unfolded. Even so, Uriel remains unchanged, still true to herself. Wow. You've truly amazed me on so many occasions today. I never expected you to express that, Professor. Honestly, I was just as clueless about the settings. Got it. I promise to safeguard your sister's secret. One last thing to mention before I wrap up. I've caught wind that the 6 snakeheads are finally on the move. These 6 serpent leaders are at the helm of the continent's most notorious crime syndicates. They're infamous characters, each with a price tag in the millions hanging over their heads. They're focusing on the products you've acquired from the auction. While the auction house may take care of the delivery, it's crucial for you to keep an eye on things as soon as they show up at the mansion. It seems you've been neglecting your magical defense lately. That's exactly why I was able to slip in so effortlessly. Anyway, take care of yourself. Uncovering that reality was more than I bargained for. Understanding it doesn't make a difference. Given that I wasn't originally Deculein, my feelings for Uriel won't waver, regardless of whether she's my biological sister or not. Uriel remains the beloved little sister of Deculein. Therefore, this reality deserves to remain unsaid. Indeed, Professor Deculein has undergone a significant transformation. I nearly thought it was a totally different individual donning the mask. He appears utterly transformed. Isn't it amazing how a simple compliment can transform something seemingly worthless into something so beautiful? It's clear that you have a fascination with attractive individuals. Had you not been so captivated by appearances, your perception of him would have undoubtedly been more favorable. No matter his words. I'll rip your visage to shreds since you're so hideous. Ironically, my grandma insisted I'm a looker. A striking gentleman happened to stroll by when it occurred, you fool. Could it be that Deculein actually possessed a compassionate side? Rayleigh's cousin Yulia is part of the adventurous Red Garnet crew. Well, it seems we can finally breathe a sigh of relief and no longer have to keep an eye on Deculein. I felt compelled to inquire whether he was still in search of a magical servant, yet there was no hint of that desire in his demeanor. Shall we head back, then? Listen closely, what you've heard today must remain under wraps. We need to be careful with our words, folks. On the following day, within the university's majestic Mage Tower. The Ong LV1 System Shop, Mana Quality Enhancement, Initial Stage, significantly boosts the intrinsic quality of your character's mana. It mildly amps up mana production and effectiveness. Price tag, 10 coins. I'm thrilled to finally access the system store, but unfortunately, I'm short on currency to purchase what I truly want. The system store is an incredible feature that enables players to use the store's currency to power up their characters in exciting ways. This offering boosts not just the player's capabilities, but also elevates the named characters to new heights, making it a must-have addition. Unfortunately, you have limited opportunities to take advantage of the system store. It can only be utilized about 6 times before it becomes virtually useless in the late game. The reason is that its usage is limited to a single application per store level, be it LV1, LV3, or LV6, making it a bit restrictive. Moreover, the currency needed increases twofold with each level you advance. I can't afford to be careless with this invaluable chance, so I'll hold off for the moment. My everyday schedule includes practicing my memory techniques, mastering the art of the soaring mind sword, and boosting my endurance, yet I still feel like I fall short when it comes to facing off against the infamous villains in terms of combat skills. At this moment, the key to my growth lies in enhancing the Amana quality. I must gather 4 additional coins for the shop as quickly as possible. Tap tap. Step in. Greetings, Professor. This pertains to this matter. I've just received it from the front desk. However, I believe caution is warranted. This piece appeared in today's Wizard Journal. Seeking, Lockhak, the Sorcerer Slayer, has been spotted on the edges of the Imperial City. It's highly advised to stay indoors to ensure safety. Is Lockhak truly the bane of wizards? He stands out as the gravest threat for mages to face during the initial to middle phases of the game. Are we about to witness his emergence? Certainly, he could have posed a serious threat to me if I were merely an average mage, but I can finally put my mind at ease regarding him in my present situation. I ought to be wishing for a chance encounter, as it could yield some valuable in-store currency. Don't stress over the Wizard Slayer. I'm off to the library, so you should probably make your exit too. Oh, and yes. Professor. Oh, indeed. Alan, how would you feel about taking on the role of an assistant professor? Excuse me? Absolutely, Professor. No way. Are you serious? Wait, are you suggesting that you'll actually endorse me for that position? But you've always said I didn't have the talent for it. I truly admire your dedication. It's only because I've been informed that I need to bring on an assistant professor, however. I can't. Please, no more questions. Just accept this. This bracelet features the Deculein emblem beautifully etched into it. Stay motivated and keep pushing forward. Grateful for your insights, Professor. Alan's remarkable skills truly shine when it comes to managing paperwork and handling minor tasks. The Deculein insignia is embedded in the bracelet. I can't simply remain idle while he slips away. He has the potential to be incredibly valuable. Up to this point, anyone who has recoiled from Deculein's cruelty has ultimately walked away, unable to bear the weight of it. Given that Alan is juggling the responsibilities of several individuals all by himself, he could very well decide to bail out at any time. You really ought to head back sooner today. Take this to grab yourself some dinner. Wait, what? Professor, this is overwhelming. A reading lounge exclusively for executives. The motivation behind my visit to the library was to advance Luna's thesis. The research paper I discovered in my lab focused on the synthesis of pure elements. Though the theory was intriguing, it was riddled with too many flaws and gaps, leaving me with the daunting task of filling in those deficiencies. I would truly appreciate discovering some quality grimoires that delve into the art of manipulation magic along the way. Why are you occupying the reading area designated for executives? Newcomer Sylvia. Oh my. Just 10 minutes ago, indeed, Professor, Miss Sylvia was searching for some study resources. But, I must emphasize, this reading room is reserved solely for executives. Who cares? She's the heiress of House Iliad and the Mage Rookie of the Year, she's exempt from such trivial rules. It's all in the name of her education, so let her have free rein with it. Dear Miss Sylvia, you are warmly welcome to explore at your own pace. Enjoy every moment. Sylvia passionately delves into the worlds of literature and linguistics, making them her primary hobbies. She journeyed exclusively to the elite reading sanctum, eager to unearth resources that would cater to her dual passions. Delving into a story crafted in Eternal was an enchanting experience. Since the fairies vanished, Eternal novels have skyrocketed in worth, rendering them incredibly scarce and hard to come by. Ethanol, the linguistic treasure of the fairies. Driven by that precise motivation, Sylvia ventured into the exclusive reading chamber, a sanctuary typically off-limits to her. Naturally, she harbored no expectations. Stumbling upon Deculein in the exclusive reading lounge was quite the surprise. What brings you to a place meant for executives only? Are you eager for yet another disciplinary committee session? Deculein? What on earth is he doing here? I thought he never even set foot in the library. I walked in with the intention of finding some particular books I had in mind. Thankfully, Professor Reland graciously granted me access. Are you really telling me that a professor disregarded the school regulations, and the librarian just looked the other way? In that case, they must face appropriate consequences for their actions. Seriously? That's what? An enchanting novel. So you defied the rules for a romance novel penned in the language of fairies? Excuse me? Hold on a second, how on earth did you figure that out? No, you're completely mistaken. I'm absolutely passionate about literature and languages. I'll give it a pass this occasion. However, if you return here without the necessary authorization, I will have no choice but to enforce disciplinary measures. Unless your aim is to showcase your family's power. Why not have someone else go and fetch the book for you instead? He made me feel utterly ashamed. I merely hope to gain deeper insights into the world of fairies with this enchanting novel. TSK. But how on earth did Deculein learn to decipher ethanol? Ethanol lacks coherence, which renders it almost unreadable. Hey, it went over there. Make sure you don't let it slip away. Let's place this right here. Understood. It's just their initial field drill, yet they are managing it with surprising composure. You'd expect them to be quaking in fear at the mountain of darkness. As night approaches, they won't be able to keep up their practice in this way, but I can't help but feel a deep sense of pride for all of them. Nested in the shadows not far from the campus, the mountain of darkness looms. This mountain is of immense importance to the Mage Tower. The surrounding forest acts as a vital arena for hands-on training. This place also serves as a vast repository brimming with diverse enchanted elements. Consequently, it's fraught with peril from monstrous creatures and venomous pests. This prompted the Mage Tower to safeguard its boundaries with vigilant professors on patrol and an array of protective enchantments. Oh, Professor Deculein. It seems that the professor assigned for this week is still up in the air. We really ought to select someone for this role. Any thoughts on who might be a good fit? I'm totally going to make it happen. Just as I anticipated from our esteemed professor. Leading the way like this truly exemplifies what it means to be a remarkable educator. I'm not attempting to set a standard or anything like that. Side mission, the currency from the darkness shop in the Mage Tower grants an extra reward upon completion. There's an undeniable force in this place that's drawing me closer. I can only assume that's what activated the side quest. As night descends upon this mountain, it transforms into a chilling nightmare. What on earth awaits us here? Okay, everyone, let's call it a day. Farewell, Professor. Farewell for now, until we meet again. After spending 9 hours at a charming cafe close to the Mage Tower, I'm absolutely amazed. The view is stunning, and the food looks incredibly appetizing. So beautiful that it feels wrong to take a bite. Is this all on you, Ephraim? Absolutely. Savor every bit of it. I've got a whopping 100,000 L now. This is the moment. I'm making the purchase. Wow. I've just sent in the proposal for starting the club, so I'm really hoping it gets the green light soon. This is our exciting first meetup ahead of time. I really hope more folks don't hold back from joining in. The community isn't expanding as rapidly as I anticipated, which is a bit disheartening. There's no need to fret. If we focus on making our club thrive, we'll see a surge of new members joining us. Incidentally, I came across news about a hands-on exercise scheduled in the Shadow Mountain this very afternoon, which sounds intriguing yet daunting. Absolutely. A remarkable 50 individuals stepped up to volunteer, despite the numerous incidents that have occurred in that place. What? Did you catch that sound a moment ago? You heard it as well. I wonder where this is originating from. Let's dive in and explore. Please, someone. I need assistance. Whoa. Hold that thought. Something doesn't seem right. Efferine. Halt. Excuse me, Julie, what on earth did you just say? Where am I? This was undoubtedly the quaint cafe lane just a few moments back, wasn't it? Please, I need assistance. Oh, wait. I can hear someone desperately crying out for help. Where are you hiding? I'm here to assist you. Right this way. This way. Are you okay? Wait a minute. We're under siege. Deculein. Are you kidding me? Professor, did you really just go after that woman? How could you do this, targeting an innocent person? Broaden your gaze and observe closely. That entity isn't human. Really? What on earth is that? It looks like you've fallen under the captivating spell cast by this demon. Seriously? Ugh. Stop obstructing me and just leave. What on earth is this? Alright, let's embark on this thrilling quest, shall we? It's absolutely enraged after failing to catch its prey. Based on the gemstone between its eyes, it undoubtedly specializes in enchantment magic. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me because of Kresoludage, which disrupts my mental defenses when I'm in the heat of battle. My blood is simmering with fury. The Deculein lineage is fueling my unending wrath. Trait, Deculein, rating, lineage overview, a lineage infused with extraordinary strength specifically tailored for the annihilation of demonic creatures, in the presence of a demon or amidst dense demonic energy. It possesses the ability to cleanse the ambient energy, transforming it into the user's own mana. This purified mana elevates in quality by one tier, yet this power comes at a cost, heightening the user's aggression. The arch-nemesis of the demonic. The illustrious Deculein lineage, famed for their relentless pursuit of devils through the ages, now fiercely burns within Deculein's soul. Note, the last part was kept in Chinese as the instruction was to respond in the same language as the text provided, which was partially in English and partially implied a need for a bilingual response. However, to fully comply with the instruction and assuming the need for consistency, here is the fully translated version in English with added emotion and variance in wording. The sworn adversary of the infernal. The renowned Deculein lineage, celebrated for their age-old crusade against devils, now burns fiercely within Deculein. He won't allow the devil standing in his way to survive. Fueled by rage. Side quest accomplished. The Shadow of the Mage Tower, earns shop currency +1, bonus milestone. First demon defeated, earns shop currency +1, heritage of the Deculein lineage, trait, Deculein, activated. Disgusting being. Even in its demise, it continues to spread its repulsiveness everywhere. The emergence of a demon marks the ominous start of the real drama. This signals the commencement of a match made for ghosts, an eerily vacant contest. Oh wow. It looks like you're finally awake, Miss Luna. Where am I? I could have sworn I found myself in the heart of the woods. You probably don't recall a single thing. Last night, a malevolent spirit emerged from the shadowy hill. You found yourself captivated by the wicked one and collapsed after enduring a psychological assault. Thankfully, you were discovered and taken to the medical ward. Entry to the shadowy mountain is currently limited as the Mage Tower conducts its investigation into the area. Just so you know, it was Professor Deculein who came to your rescue. Can't believe it. Ugh, of all the people, it just had to be him. Okay. What day are we on now? It's already been 36 hours since you were brought here. Can you believe it? It's already Wednesday. Just a moment. Wednesday, really? I'm cutting it close. Phew. I barely made it. Right on the dot. Over here, Effie. Julia, come quick. Is everything alright? I was really concerned when I came to see you, but you just wouldn't stir. I'm doing well, actually. I feel fantastic after catching up on so much sleep. What's going on here? Was there an announcement I missed? Even the classroom setup has changed. I have no idea. It was already like this when we arrived. Perhaps today will turn out to be an extraordinary lesson. Who on earth is that fellow? Before we dive into today's lecture, I have an exciting announcement to share. Please welcome Alan, our newly appointed assistant professor. What? Isn't Professor Deculein famous for not having an assistant professor? Whisper, their voice barely carried, laced with curiosity and doubt. Can you believe it? I've heard whispers that he's gone his entire career without ever having one. As soon as you reach the status of an assistant professor, you qualify for the professor assessment, which can truly propel your career forward. It's hard to imagine that someone like Professor Deculein would be comfortable with anyone else succeeding. I completely agree with you. Indeed, they are correct. At the age of 30, my father was merely a research assistant. Ria Perska didn't manage to achieve his goal of becoming an assistant professor. Why did he elevate some unknown magician like him? Today marks an exciting day for a hands-on learning experience. You'll need to tackle this task within the given 3-hour time frame. Here, have this timepiece. And you too. This bracelet holds a special place in my heart as a cherished memento from my dad. Each time I gaze upon it now, as the vessel of my magical materials, it fills me with a sense of awe and wonder. What was the significance of Deculein to my father? Why did he abandon my father to wither away, without ever offering him a chance? And now, after all this time, what's behind his baffling behavior towards me? Please, stay on track. I'm currently deep into my work for this assignment. I have to conjure up a spell in a hurry. I'm struggling with all these thoughts overwhelming me. A whopping 25 minutes and 15 seconds later, mission accomplished. Seriously? It hasn't even been half an hour. Just like I anticipated from Sylvia. It's absolutely amazing. You can go ahead and leave now. I can't let her get ahead of me. No way. Feel free to go, Julia. And you, Laheen, it's time for you to leave as well. Roten. Kappa Alpha Iota Nu. You are both forgiven. Aharon, you're free to leave now. Trent. Professor, the 3-hour mark has passed. It's time for you to sign out. Ugh. Seriously. At least brainstorm something, you moron. I not only struggled to match Sylvia's pace. I was the sole person who couldn't manage to get anything done by the time class wrapped up. Am I really such a fool that I can't manage this straightforward job? I suppose I underestimated my standing here. How could a fool who never even set foot in the academy seek revenge, much less stand a chance against anyone? A total of 5 hours and 47 minutes. How much longer do I have to wait for you? Deculein? Is he seriously still at the office? Losing your composure over such a straightforward task, failing to submit it timely, is quite disappointing. I regret to say. Regardless of whether someone ridicules you as they surge forward. Or even if your most despised foe is right in front of you. A wizard must constantly keep their composure. In your present miserable condition, you will never be able to even grasp the distance between us. I'm really let down by you, Ephraim. I believed you were a hidden gem waiting to shine. I believed you were a hidden gem waiting to shine. And what's the big deal? I appreciate your concern, but I'm capable of handling this by myself. Regardless of the circumstances. I believe I can achieve this.